Hello everyone, and welcome to our first class of this course about the pattern of greediness. How are you doing? So today we'll initiate a journey of 10 classes about greediness. They will be a little bit more packed than usual due to my personal professional schedule that I cannot do it in another way. So there was a funny moment that when I was thinking about what pattern do next, I found that I needed to pack so many classes in this short time, so I felt why not to be greedy about it. And I decided to come to the pattern of greediness like this. So, very welcome everyone to this class. If you are new to the class, to the Ranchway system or to my own classes, I do recommend you to watch my first YouTube videos, mainly the first about trust and the one about hiding and avoiding. On those videos, I talk about some fundamentals, some words, some principles that they are basic to Ranchway, some concepts and so on. I will not go through them again, so if you are unaware of those terms or those concepts, or even the basics about how the patterns work and the information of the consciousness, please go and watch those videos so that you are very better prepared for this course. Yes, it's not just greedy, but also practical. Yes, I will be doing the teacher's training in August in Germany. And then I have a full schedule in August. And as some of you know, I will be going on a journey to Japan to introduce Ranchway to the Japanese people in the end of October. So in the 18th of October until the 8th of November, I will be in Japan teaching Ranchway and promoting Ranchway there together with another teacher. So due to all these events and more other things going on, I needed to pack the course like this. So we're gonna, before we start the training, the class, we'll start to build a chi field. If you are new to it, you just need to follow the instructions. I will guide you through all the process. First, we're gonna build a chi field, the field of energy to support this class and this course. And then we're gonna unify the hearts and create with and connect and unify with the universe itself. Yes, so there is a question if there will be groups again between the webinars. Yes, there will be the groups the same day, because I don't have the chances to do other days, but the same day you'll have the groups on Tuesdays. And we'll try to create a different dynamic from the other courses, but you still have the group there. Okay, so let's start to build the chi field first, and then we'll start the class. Adjust yourself to a good position with your spine straight, your body centered. Look straight forward and slowly bring your awareness inward. Close your eyes and relax. Relax the whole body. Relax the head and face. Relax the neck, the shoulders, arms and hands. Relax the chest and upper back. Relax the abdomen and lower back. Relax the hips, legs, and feet. Relax the whole body from the top of the head to the toes, from inside out. Relax the heart. Relax the mind. Feel all the structures of your being completely relax. And in this deep state of relaxation, your awareness becomes alive. Awareness inside of the body. Feel the emptiness and spaciousness within. Bring your awareness deep inside the body, inside the cells, atoms, subatomic particles. You go so deep, so small, that there is no space for more. And contemplate all the peace and quietness there. The void has no boundaries, no limitations. And through the void, expand your awareness out in all directions, becoming one with the universe. We expand and dissolve ourselves in the void of the universe, and we become so big that there is no space for more. And contemplate all the peace and quietness there. And bring the awareness back to the body. Calm and peaceful. Open to the universe with reverence, true respect and humility, and let the bright universe nourish your heart with compassion and love. Feel relaxed, free, and joyful. Chi is flowing harmoniously and smoothly. Go deep into your heart and feel your pure heart. And connect your heart with my own heart and also with Yonsei, Melissa, and everyone in this chi field. Let's connect and unify our hearts. And always remember, the strength of our hearts unified is exponential. So together we're gonna connect and manifest the 5 essential heart qualities. We start to connect and manifest the state of unconditional trust. And give trust to everyone. Receive trust from everyone. Dissolve yourself into trust. And be trust. Now connect and manifest the state of unconditional openness. And give openness to everyone. Receive openness from everyone. Dissolve yourself into openness. And be openness. Now connect and manifest the state of unconditional love. And give love to everyone. Receive love from everyone. Dissolve yourself into love. You are love. Now connect and manifest the state of unconditional gratitude. And give gratitude to everyone. Receive gratitude from everyone. Dissolve yourself into gratitude. And be gratitude. Now connect and manifest the state of unconditional gonging, or true respect and humility. And give gonging to everyone. Receive gonging from everyone. Dissolve yourself into gonging. And be gonging. Feel the wonderful 5-shin in your heart, your pure heart. And in this state of purity, open up and connect with your true self. Surrender to your true self and invite it to manifest in your heart. Give it unconditional freedom to manifest all its awareness, true understanding, realization, wisdom, all its bright light, clarity, and power. Surrender to your true self. Your consciousness, heart, and true self are now unified. And in this state of unification, Open once more to the universe and surrender unconditionally to the universe. Surrender your consciousness. Surrender your heart. Surrender your true self. So that in each pattern and thought, in each feeling and emotion, in each awareness, through understanding, realization, and wisdom, we become one with the infinite love and wisdom of the universe. Following the laws of the universe to help us to accomplish the mission of Zidu Duren. Uplift yourself and help the others. We are now ready to learn together and grow together. Slowly, we start to come back and gently open your eyes. Thank you, everyone, for your wonderful heart connection and for building this chi field together. It felt quite good, reconnect with your hearts. There are a lot of hearts connected, and it is quite beautiful to experience it. It's a big treasure that humans have, this pure heart connection, and can be so beneficial to everyone and to everything. We as humans have a big influence in this planet, and when the human's heart truly connects, they can do miracles. When we connect with other human beings from a very true sense of heart connection, and also with other beings in this planet. Some animals are quite sensitive to it, and we don't need to say words to communicate with them by heart to heart. So, thank you everyone for this beautiful heart connection, and to give all this strength to start this course and this work on the patterns. In the Ren Shui, when we work on the patterns, we bring this understanding that is crucial to awaken the heart, at least up to some degree, to help us to transform the patterns. The patterns of the consciousness are something that they are quite deep and complex, and it's very difficult to work with them. So we need to use one structure in our being that is in a different level, that can see the patterns from another angle and work with them. And we need to use our heart, and use our heart to connect with our true self. The principle is that when our patterns were created, they had lack of information, so they were not able to perceive the complete, total information about some event or some situation. And they were created with that, so they have flaws. And those flaws, they can be said that are flaws that ignore the totality, they ignore the true reality or the complete reality. So the ignorance of our patterns is the problem, not the patterns themselves. The patterns are just natural mechanisms of the consciousness to deal with information. But to that moment when they were created, they reflect more ignorance than wisdom. And the only antidote or the only healing for ignorance is wisdom. Wisdom in our structure comes mostly from our true self. So we need to open the true self to, or give it conditions for the true self to manifest. One of the best ways is to have the heart in a very good state. So having all these heart qualities manifesting, or at least one of them, and being in the state where we are relaxed and calm so that we can perceive the things with clarity and be able to change it with the wisdom of the true self. So it was a very good start to create this foundation, and I think now we are ready to start the class. Greediness is one of the 10 fundamental patterns that Yuan Tse described. There are many patterns that we might have, but Yuan Tse gave us these 10 fundamental patterns that are 10 patterns that are very frequent in every human being, and they are quite deep-rooted, including in our survival instinct. Because of that, we work on them, and by working on them we can understand better how the patterns really work, and then apply it for the rest of the patterns that we might manifest. Because these patterns are deeply rooted, they are highly connected with our survival instinct, and greediness is one of them. By definition, greediness has a pattern that make us to want more than what we need, beyond what we really need. It becomes a strong desire, the need transforms into desire, and we get more, but no matter how much we get, we never feel satisfied. And it has manifestations in all levels of life. It could be greediness for money, it could be greediness for relationships, could be greediness for social status, it could be greediness for food, it could be greediness for power, it could be greediness for youth, so we try to fight the aging process in a way that we never feel satisfied, no matter how much we do, and so on. Greediness can manifest in so many levels in life, from very simple details to big details. And it can be at the foundation of other patterns, like the pattern of perfectionism, or the pattern of narcissism, or the pattern of people pleasing, and so on. The truth is that all the patterns interacting with each other, they influence each other and they nourish each other, and they have a very complex relationship. I will talk more about that in further classes, not in this first class. But they have a very complex relationship that they, at the same time, they protect each other and they make each other stronger. And at the same time, they also attack each other. This is how patterns work. They perceive information and they manifest according to that. And they don't like change at all. They are stubborn by nature. So the pattern Greediness comes with this feeling, no matter how much we have, is never enough. No matter how good we are, we never feel that we are good enough. No matter how much we have, we never feel that is enough quantity. No matter how much we achieve, we never feel that is enough, and so on. We humans, as a development, we learn that it is important to gather resources. In the past, when the humans were nomads, they tend to travel a lot in search for resources. So they had not the ability to accumulate things. One, to the nature of being nomads, so that we are traveling from one place to another, we cannot carry a lot of things with us. And another was because they lacked the ability to cultivate food and to create food for themselves. So they need to move to where the food was, and in those places that the food was, they will hunt or eat the food that was there until it was not enough, or the weather changing or something like that, and they need to move to another place. So they were basically with this lifestyle that they will get what Earth was giving to them. And they were living in the period of scarcities, because sometimes they could not have enough to survive. Even if they were skilled and they had the knowledge, sometimes survive becomes very difficult in those conditions. Then we went to the period of gathering. I don't know exactly how is the name in English, but there is a process of the history where humans start to learn how to gather resources. And they learned that if they gather more, they had more chances to survive. So the process of gathering was motivated by the fear of not having enough. And if we don't have enough, we cannot survive. This is very important, understand this, because this is a key aspect of the creation of the manifestation, or the creation of the pattern of greediness. So we don't have enough, we cannot survive. That was the foundation. Then humans start to develop the skill of gathering more and more. They learn how to cultivate the land, they learn how to create resources, so, create not just the resources to eat, but also resources, use the things as tools. The stone, the wood, and other things, and they start to understand that there were better resources, and everything that was making their life easier, they will want it more. So we can say that desires start to manifest. The desire of transcending the difficulties that they were going through. But here the problem came through, because some resources that they desire more, that could give them an easy life, they were in less quantity, or they were having more, was more difficult to have them. And that entered the period of start to fight for resources, to conquer different lands, to create limits of the land of a group of people that maybe it was just a village before, but then it became more complex with districts and castles and kingdoms and empires and so on. And we know how it evolved until today, how things have evolved. But this feeling of if we have more, the better, has always come through life of humans. And then there is this paradox that has always happened. When some society, some group of humans were able to strive and have more, much more than what they need, that process leads to a destruction of that group. It's a quite strange paradox, because we want more to save ourselves, to survive, to overcome difficulties. But then it seems that there is a plateau, that we reach a certain level of comfort, and if greediness keeps going and want more and more and more, that will lead to self-destruction. And here is important what we want more, because sometimes it's not about the objects, sometimes it's something deeper than that. The problem comes because when we create the pattern, if we want more, we have better chances to survive. Or if we have more, we have an easier life. When we create that pattern, it was with the ignorance. And we start to use it to not just to survive, but to satisfy other needs in other levels. Needs that can never be satisfied by having more of those things. A good example is that if people believe that having more resources bring us happiness, they might become very skillful in gather resources, and could be resources of money, resources of power, resources of influence. But let's look at an example of money. If money could bring happiness, it means that the wealthiest people in the world will be the happiest people in the world. They will be extremely, extremely happy. The top 10 people in the world with more money, they will be incredibly happy. Like if you have 1 trillion of dollars or euros, that should bring you a lot of happiness. Much more than the people that have just $10 or 10 euros. And we know that that is not true. But if the pattern is telling you that, if it's trying to solve a problem in a certain level and search for a solution in another, that feel of insatisfaction will be always present, and no matter how much we have, will never be enough. So humans start to experience through things like they feel the pain and the weakness of being hungry. They eat, they feel the pleasure of food and the nourishment of the body, so that is something closer to comfort and happiness or joy or something like that. So they might believe, okay, if I eat this bit is good, if I eat more will be even better. So we can start to eat. But the pattern is there. Even if we intellectually realize that that is not good for us, the pattern is telling you, do it more. And could be the same with other things. Could be with buying clothes. Like if I look good, people will respect me. So maybe the need to feel respect. And this is just an example. I'm not saying that buying clothes or eating is wrong. It's just to understand the mechanism. So we can say, okay, if I look better, if I have better looks, people will respect me more, so I will invest in my looks. So I will buy a lot of clothing, especially if it's clothing that people like and enjoy. I will take care of my looks in a certain way that is approved by society. But then, even if we have the perfect look, most likely will not be respect. But we believe that that is true, so we keep investing on the looking, investing, and we don't feel the nourishment of respect. Another example is it could be like the trust. Having the need for trust is a natural need of humans, to trust and to feel trust. So how normally we try to gain trust of others? By being skillful in a certain activity, or by achieving something that people like, or having certain kind of behavior, or even the look, and people, we can do that. It's not good. It's not a bad thing to try to have a good look or to be professional working in a thing or being skillful. That is a good thing. But sometimes we are so desperate to feel trust that we can put so much energy in those activities that we end up to damage ourselves and create harm to ourselves. So we can come up with a pattern of perfectionism. And even if the things are already really good, we keep going to improve. Like we'll never feel satisfied. No matter how good the things are, we never feel satisfied with that. And many other things. So humans do have needs, and those needs are in different levels of life. When we cannot satisfy a need in one level, we try to find the pleasure or the desire for something that is in the level that is easier to satisfy. So very often we might have the need for love, and we might try to satisfy that need because we are not able to. We don't know. We ignore where to find true love, really the love. We might try to satisfy that need in things that create a different kind of connection that might feel like love, but is not love. And then we can become greedy about those activities. An example. Constant relationships. When we initiate a new relationship, there is some sort of connection that is quite special. There is the energy of the beginning, and that might feel like love. So we might start to consume relationships, and when this sparkle from the beginning ends, we move to another, and we can have hundreds or thousands of relationships and never feel satisfied with them, because it's not about the relationship. It's because we ignore how to find love, or what is the true source of love. But if we have the reference that the relationships are the source of love, then we will just search for them, and no matter how much relationships we get, will never be enough. That doesn't mean that relationships are not good. Relationships are good and can be love in the relationships. But if we believe that that is the source of love, no matter how many relationships we'll have, we will not get love. Or we will not find the love in having new relationships. If we want to understand love, one relationship is enough to learn about it. If we find the true source of love, we don't even need relationships to know love or to feel satisfied the need for love. So we can search for those kind of activities to compensate needs in a different level. And we see like relationships as just a natural and easy human activity, because we humans by nature, we are social beings. So connecting with other humans is very easy for us. Other things that are related with food or with shelter or with clothing, so all these basic survival needs that we all have, they can become exaggerated in order to satisfy or to give us some pleasure about something that we cannot find in a higher level. Like the sense of safety. It's a very important human need, but where do we find safety? It's in having more weapons, more power, more money. Does that really give us true safety? By direct experience, I know that don't. Not at all. Safety is something that manifests, the sense of safety, this feeling of safety is something that manifests in our heart, in our true self, in our Jingshan, and is not present in the objects. We can associate the objects to protect us, of course, but the true safety doesn't come there. We can have all the weapons of the world and be obsessed in getting more and more weapons and don't feel safe at all. And then there is this paradox. The more we get, the more insecure we become. And the more dangerous we become. It's a paradox of greediness. That we search for something in the wrong place, and in that illusion, that thing will end up to damage us and give us the opposite outcome. But I had this direct experience with myself that, that I started to practice martial arts at a very young age, and I practiced very hard, and my body was quite strong. But no matter how strong I was getting, I was not feeling safe. My mind was always constantly in the state, not constantly, but very often in the state of feeling alert and searching for possible dangers or things that might go wrong. Although there was nothing dangerous around, factual danger, but my mind was searching for the things that we cannot expect. So we always in alert state. So I was not feeling safe in a way. But when I injured my lower back, that all this strength disappear, all my ability to defend myself disappear, was the moment of my life that I really was a moment where I could really feel safe. It was a strange paradox. I found safety in my weakness. And we see how it is in the world. If we let our mind search for what we need to feel safe, it can be quite a lot. But the truth is that we don't need that. Safe comes from within. Another thing that we search a lot is a sense of freedom, which is a natural human need. And we can search it for in a lot of things, and we can have our own interpretations. Freedom is the ability to buy whatever I want. Freedom is traveling around the world. Freedom is to do whatever I want in my relationships, and no one blames me. Freedom is to have this or that. So normally we bring this freedom about having what we want. But that is not true freedom. It's not freedom at all. That is just letting our desires to feel satisfied. But what will happen after they are satisfied? What we need more? After they are satisfied, we keep searching. That satisfaction doesn't last long. And we keep searching and we keep searching, and we don't understand that in the process of searching for freedom, we become slaves of our own desires. There was a man in Japan that I watched a documentary about martial arts long time ago, and that man, for some reason, he was unfairly accused of something, and he went to the death row in jail. So there was no way to escape, and what was written to be his destiny was death. But during the interview, he mentioned a few things that was during that period in the jail, and when he was condemned to death, that he found true freedom. Why? Because he gave up everything that was making him a slave. On his ego, on his desires, he became essential what he was. He didn't need to be slave of anyone or anything anymore. He was free from those. Then he was released after they found that the things changed, and he found that they were innocent and there was no reason to kill him. But he had this experience of being in the place where, in theory, there is no freedom at all. They control their space. He could not do anything apart being in the jail. They control his food. They control the clothing. He had no money, no influence, no power there. He was just sitting, waiting in the jail for his death. And other people even decide that he will die. He has no choice on that. So all his choices, all his desires were gone. And in that moment of weakness, this moment of not having space for more, he just let go everything, and he experienced freedom. There are many needs that we try to satisfy, but once we try to satisfy them in the wrong way, they will never be satisfied. But at the same time, we are afraid of not having those needs satisfied. And we don't know other ways to satisfy them. So we keep going until we damage ourselves. And then we keep going and we damage others, and we keep going until the paradox of self-destruction happens. If we look to some empires that happen in Europe, I have more knowledge about the European story, also world story, but as an example, the Portuguese people, they were struggled. They came with few generations with very good kings that they plan in the future. So they make projects not thinking on themselves, but thinking on the population, and they plan very far in the future. Some start to plan. There was a king that he decided to plant a lot of trees in order for the Portuguese to be able to build strong boats to go overseas. But that king never saw the boats. he was investing in the future for the population in 100, 200 years after. And many other, so there was a big plan, good, that provide with wisdom. They hire scientists from all the places. Although Portugal was a Christian country, in all those times the religion was and politics, they were completely unified. The Portuguese hire Muslims scientists and other scientists from different places around the world to help them to create this very advanced technology, to sail, to create boats, etc. And then they came up with this technology. A few years after, they became the Portuguese. They became very wealthy, and in this high level of when they reached the peak of their golden age, where they were extremely wealthy, they start to become quite arrogant, and they wanted even more, because in the past the kings were receiving value for their victories, so these new ones want even more than the previous ones, but the new ones was living already in the very high level of comfort. He was seen almost like the golden boy or the golden king, and he decided he wanted to conquer all Africa. And he died, or he disappeared in Africa. They say they never found his body, but he died. And that greediness, that desire of conquer everything, became, in the peak of their wealth, it became their own destruction. Portugal was very, very, very rich on those days. Then it came the process of the Spanish was their close family. The kings of Spain were the close family. They take charge of Portugal to help them until they find the new king, and that took 3 generations to Portugal. But then Spain became very powerful, and the Spanish also conquer a lot. They make a lot of money. They become not just powerful overseas, but they were also controlling big parts of Europe. And because the Portuguese were without king, when they found someone to become king, they were under the rule of Spain, and then they asked help to the English, that they were the old allies from Portugal. And in order to receive the help, the Portuguese gave to the English their sailing technology. Then the Spanish, on the peak of their greediness, they decide to create this armada to go to conquer England, because they have not enough. They having their empire, and they were controlling the Portuguese empire, that was basically the overseas known world, a lot of parts of Europe, and they even wanted to conquer England. Then the nature took charge, and they have a storm that destroy a lot of their fleet, and some fires that the English provoke on the boats of the Spanish. It was a big strike to Spain, but the Portuguese sold the technology of how to become their sailing technology, their maps and everything to the English. And then the Spanish Empire was destroyed, and then the English Empire started to emerge, and we know how big the English Empire became. And the same with other empires that happened already in Europe, like the Roman Empire. It was at their peak that they were so wealthy, and they had a vast territory, that also the level of interest and corruption started to grow, and that was their own self-destruction. The Roman Empire was not destroyed by foreign kingdoms, but by themselves because of their greediness. And we see how this greediness can create this aspect of self-destruction, not just in the individuals, but also in countries and societies. It's quite amazing how that it is. So it seems that all the humans are searching for something quite special. And they are searching in the wrong places. Does greediness make someone bad? No. It's just their ignorance. They are searching for things. If they search, if they feel that their population has better chances to survive by conquer other countries, so they will conquer other countries, even if conquering the other countries can lead them to destruction. If they believe that it's through war that they will solve the problems in other levels, so the wars will never end. If people believe that it's through punishment that other humans will become with good patterns, or humans will grow, punishment will persist. We can see that a lot in the world, in all the countries, in all the cultures, as far as I know. Punishment, guilt and blame has been something quite present there. It has been a tool of education, manipulation and normalization of a group of people or different groups or individuals. And it has been part of the human story. So what people want to bring up with guilt, with blame and with punishment, what kind of needs we want to have satisfied there. It could be the need to have more wisdom, the need to correct the mistakes of someone. When we feel guilty when we acknowledge a mistake. So we feel guilty. And we believe that through that guilty we can have some redemption, some healing. But that is not true. If guilt will really heal someone, everyone in the world will be healthy. But we keep insisting on that. What we do when someone in society does some crime, we punish. The punishment can be in different ways. But sometimes the punishment is quite violent, or physically, or emotional, or mentally violent. And that punishment has never stopped crimes in the world. It could control up to some level through the process of fear, but the fear will last as long the punishment is present. And that is not a sustained situation. If people are not facing the punishment and they don't have fear to commit the crime, they will do it. No one talks about healing the pattern, healing the causes behind that. Or some people might talk about, but is not a common way to treat when there is a crime situation. when someone is doing a crime, what they receive, most likely they receive anger, they receive aggression, they receive fear, they receive all sorts of emotions that are not quite elevated. What was the true reason for that person to commit a crime? What was his or her own ignorance telling him that by doing the crime they will have a solution? If we don't go to the source and we don't understand the true need, things will just keep repeating. Things will repeat eternally. They will just pass from a generation to another. So, what is greediness? Is ignorance about how to truly satisfy a need in the level that that need is supposed to be satisfied. Sometimes I look to the animals and I appreciate their honesty and their wisdom. And I observe like my the behaviors of my cat or my dog. They have they like to eat. And they have their favorite food and the foods that they don't like. But normally they just eat what they need. Nor more nor less. And even if they have a food that they really like, they eat and they stop. Sometimes they might hide the food in some place. Sometimes they might just leave it, but they don't eat more than they need. Can we do the same as humans? And eating can be just a metaphor. How do we understand how much do we need? And when does the need is transformed into a desire? And does that desire describe or is really aligned with the need? As an example, often sex is associated with love. And they can come side by side. And it's really wonderful when they come together. But they are still not the same thing. If true sex will reach love, that will mean that some people that work in the sex industry, they will have the highest level of love in this planet. But they don't. If sex was the gate for love, it means that people that have no sex in their life could not feel love. And that is not true. Sometimes it's quite the opposite. Sometimes the people that have never experienced sexual intercourse, they have the highest states of love, and people that have thousands of relationships with different people, they don't experience love at all. But there is a belief, an association between these two things. They can come together, and that is wonderful. It's wonderful if someone has extreme love for another person, and they love each other, and they make sex, or they have sexual intercourse, and they make love in that way. They can come together, and that can even help to develop their connection and their interaction, the openness to each other. But they are not the same thing. And if we believe that we can find love in sex, we might start to become greedy about sex. Yeah, there is the comfort of the touch, of the pleasure, etc. And sometimes those pleasure sensory relationships can be confused with love. So we are not greedy because of some kind of evil intention. We are greedy because we ignore where to satisfy our needs in the level to where they belong. So we can acknowledge different levels of needs. One is the needs on the, let's say, survival instinct, that is the need to eat, the need to have a shelter, the need to have clothes, the need to procreate, the need to all those needs that are satisfied on this physical survival level. Then we have the needs on the social level, the needs to connect with other beings, to interact, to exchange information, to love and feel loved, to create stories together. All these things, just being together and being social together, that is also a very important level of needs for human beings. The need for acknowledging the group, the need for approval, the need, many of them like that. Then we have the needs for the self-expression, that it's express our uniqueness and our message as human beings, our purpose. And that is a very unique type of need too. So is a need to express our creative energy in a way. So when we are born, we are born from the creative energy from the universe that manifests in our parents, and the fertilization of the egg with the sperm, and that energy starts to manifest in the baby by creating the fetus, the baby, and then the growing of the human being until it becomes complete. But that creativity, that energy of creation manifests also through our expression as human beings. And that energy needs to be expressed. It needs to be expressed. If it is repressed, then we will start to search for things to try to satisfy that need in other ways. It's a very powerful energy. So we can start, if our creativity or energy is repressed, we start to manifest it in things like sex or or food or achievements, we start to manifest in those levels, previous levels that I talked before, and we'll never feel satisfied. We need to express our creativity in a healthy way. Very often that expression comes to art, to a place where we can express our voice in our very unique way, with something that is connected with our heart and something that is elevated. And sometimes comes through the form of art, but it's not only through art that manifests. It can manifest through our life purpose, to create something in life, to contribute with our life to the others. And when we are not allowed to express and contribute in this healthy way, it's very likely that we will become greedy about something else. That makes us to feel the movement of this energy, that makes us to feel like we are expressing something, but we are not. And no matter how much we are, we just try to deplete that creative energy the faster possible, because we cannot express it in the correct way. If we have this creative energy going out in the correct way, we will feel a lot of energy in our body. We will feel this sense of freedom, this sense of completeness. And we will not crave for to satisfy it in other levels, like eating more or traveling more or buying more stuff or interacting with more people or having more money or more power or more influence, etc. Nowadays, with this development of social networks, we can see how people want to express that energy of creation, of creativity, but very often is not their true uniqueness, because they are searching for the approval of others and what can give us them some money or some influence or some power. There are some people that express in these social networks that facilitates a lot in a very unique way, and they don't do it by expecting anything back. They just want to put out their own contribution and their own expression as human beings. But we can also see a lot of people that are expressing themselves, but not on that level. They are expressing with other levels, with other interests, and they never feel satisfied. No matter how much likes, how much money they get, they don't feel satisfied with that. I follow a YouTuber that he's quite honest with himself, and he was very honest in his art, in the service that he was giving, and he created his image in a way, and he was not feeling satisfied with that anymore, so he was more sincere with himself, and he changed to something that was more meaningful to him as an expression of a true human being. So that is another level of needs that is very important to us to acknowledge. If those needs are not satisfied in the right level, we'll satisfy it in another levels, and then we'll start to desire those things, and we might become very greedy about those things that we use to compensate. Then there is the needs, spiritual needs. So the needs for realization, the needs for wisdom, the needs for clarity, for transcending the common human limitations. And when I talk about wisdom is not intellectual knowledge. It's something very different. We might have not intellectual knowledge and a lot of wisdom, And we might have a lot of intellectual knowledge and not wisdom at all. So wisdom is something very specific, is a manifestation of our true self, has the ability for realization. And we are looking for that. In fact, that is the thing that after the satisfaction of some basic needs, that demand for a spiritual realization is probably the strongest one. We do search for realization, all the human beings without this exception. And among all the needs, maybe the need for realization represents, has a strength of 90%. But a lot of humans even don't know that. But they search for realization. Where they search for realization in the other level of needs. The realization of having a good house, the realization of having a good job, a good family. And those things are important, obvious. I'm not saying that they are bad. But we search for that. So we create expectations to have that realization in the family. Or in the job, or in the this, or in that. But then, even if they are a good family, we don't feel satisfied. Even if we have a good job, we don't feel that is good enough. Even if we have a good life, we don't feel that is good. We feel that sense that something is missing. But because we ignore what we are searching for, we keep doing on that level. There is this well-known situation where some people achieve a lot of things in life. And they might feel that they have a complete life, and or they might feel complete, that they have reached a lot, they have realized their lives. But if we go deeper, they don't. If we look deeper, they don't. They want to realize something that only the true self can give to them. And they search it in all sorts of things. That is the highest demand, or the highest search, or the highest need that humans have, even without knowing that they have it. The need for realization and wisdom. Sometimes people might think that they will gain wisdom by reading a lot of books. It gives you some knowledge. It can give you some references, some points. But even if you read and know all the books of the world, that will not be a guarantee to give you wisdom. So we might become obsessed with knowledge on the intellectual level and be greedy about that more and more. It's important too. Again, I'm not saying that those things are not important, they are not good. The problem comes when we try to satisfy a need in a level where it cannot be satisfied. Because no matter how much we have, we don't feel that is enough. We feel this constant hunger to having more and more and more, until the moment of self-destruction. It has been through the history of some humans that have reached such a high level of intellectual knowledge, quite incredible. And they found themselves that that knowledge became their source of suffering. They became their highest struggle. But I have never seen someone that reached the highest level of wisdom to say that wisdom was a problem. Or to suffer because they have too much wisdom. In fact, it's the opposite. The more wisdom we have, the less suffering will be in life. Where people search to satisfy this need for realization, where do you search to satisfy this need of realization? What is the concept of you to have a realized life? Of course, this word is a concept, so it might have different meanings to you. But the spiritual realization is something very unique. It's funny because some people search for spiritual realization, but they try to satisfy that need in the other levels, like in their clothes, in their looks, in their food, in their house. How many spiritual traditions put their practitioners to starve? It's good to do some fasting sometimes, but some people believe that they could reach spiritual realization through the process of not eating, that they become greedy about that. Some humans, they even got very serious health problems, including some die of starvation. And they did not got self-realization with that. That doesn't mean that fasting cannot give you some benefits. It does. But it's not through fasting you cannot satisfy the needs of spiritual realization there. You can create some conditions for your body, for your structure, even for your mind. Your mind can calm down a bit, your body can clear some toxins and work a little bit better if you don't do fasting for a very long time. So there are some benefits. But if you just hold onto that to satisfy spiritual realization, you will not have the spiritual realization need satisfied by that. Not by clothes too. It's not because we dress like a monk that we'll gain spiritual realization. It's not because we dress with some type of style that we'll have more wisdom. The needs can only be satisfied at the level that they belong to. And it's very important to satisfy the needs. It's very important to satisfy all our needs, but satisfy them in the level that they belong to. If we try to satisfy them in the level where they don't belong, and we believe that that is the way, very likely we'll become controlled by the pattern of greediness. And no matter how much we have, we'll never be enough. And we keep doing it, until destroy ourselves, or something happened that this paradox of self-destruction, or having more to free ourselves, and the more we have, the more slaves we become. That is the paradox of greediness. It's like, well, if I have more weapons, my country will be safer. Then we have so many weapons that the other countries start to see you as dangerous. So they also run for weapons, and the tensions increase. And so the others are getting strong, so I need to get even stronger. And that has no end until we destroy our own country in the search for weapons. So searching for the safety in a place where safety does not exist is the cause of the destruction of safety itself. This is the paradox of greediness. Due to these things that greediness does, it's very important to take care of this pattern, because it plays in a very strange way. It can use good things and use them in the wrong way. Eating is good, it's important. Don't get me wrong with that. And it's important for us to have clothes, it's important for us to have a shelter, to have a certain level of safety and life quality. But what does greediness does? It can transform these good things into a weapon of self-destruction. Money is important. It's one of the most important tools in this planet. Is an exchange by services, goods, or other things. Money can give us a lot of comfort in life and make our life quite easier. But because having an easier life, having more goods, more services, more buying power, very often is confused with happiness, people can become greedy with money. That doesn't mean that we don't need to strive for it and we need to make the effort, because it's important. But when enough is enough, if we have 1 trillion and that is not enough, that could be a problem. Or if we have I think was a queen of a country that she had I don't remember how many, but once I saw it in the news that that queen had quite a few thousands of pairs of shoes and was still buying more. Who really needs thousands of pairs of shoes? Probably even if she will use one pair every day and throw it to the garbage and never use it more, she will not be able to use all her shoes in one lifetime. What kind of need was she trying to satisfy? In this in the work of this course, it's very important to connect with ourselves like any other pattern and look at yourself with this deep state of heart. And so you connect yourself with love, with trust, with openness, with gratitude, with respect and humility. It's very important to go in this process like this and be completely honest with yourself. There is no shame in having needs. That is just part of human life. There is no shame in trying to satisfy our needs, even if sometimes we do it in the wrong way. But it's important to acknowledge them. Like humans have a strong need for connection, and that need for connection has manifest in this popularization of social networks. But social networks could facilitate connection, but relying only on social networks can really satisfy our need for connection, of true, meaningful connection. It's very difficult. There is a movie with Joaquin Phoenix. The title of the movie is Her. And it's one of the best illustrations about this feeling of the need for connection and how can evolve in the greedy way with a pattern of greediness behind, with a desire of having connection in a way that does not exist. It's a quite beautiful movie. Very beautiful performance from the actors, a beautiful story, profound, and a very beautiful cinematography. So it's very, very important. Be honest with yourself. What are the true needs on the physical level? What are your true needs on the surviving level? Are they satisfied? Do you tend to overdo them more than you need in a way to satisfy other needs? What are these other needs? Are they on the emotional level? Are they on the social level? Can you satisfy like a need of connection? Even if it's just a connection with yourself. We cannot impose connection to other human beings, but can you connect with yourself? When you cannot connect with yourself, what do you do to satisfy that need? There are a few TV shows that people really like them. Obviously the story is good, the performance of the actors is good, but has a lot to satisfy the need for connection, the need for belonging, the need to be in the group, There is the TV show of Friends that became so popular for many years, one of the best sellers in the world TV. Why? Because it was all about connection and integration and belonging to a group. Or other similar stories like the How I Met Your Mother and other stories. Sometimes these shows on TV, if you look, they try to bring us this satisfaction of a basic need that we have difficulty to find it in other places. But the need to connection, the need to belonging, they are just natural human needs. Do you feel that need satisfied with yourself, from yourself to yourself, and expand it to the external, maybe with other people or other beings? And when you don't feel that need satisfied, what do? Where do you go? How about the need to feel trust and to trust? Do you have it satisfied? And when it's not satisfied, what do? Maybe you become greedy about something. Maybe you create expectations. Maybe you impose others to satisfy that need to you. And the need for love. This is one of the deepest needs of humans. And it is quite a paradox because humans tend to search for love where love in things that are not the source of love. Yet at the same time, they cannot acknowledge that love is inside them. And that is just due to the lack of true understanding. But what do we do for love? That has been one of the biggest quests of humanity. What do we do to get the love from our parents, the love from our friends, the love from our partners, the love from our pets? What do we do to get the love from ourselves? What do we do to allow ourselves to receive love? What do we do to give love, to express love, to have our love acknowledged? How many of those things are really on the level of love? It's true that helping people to satisfy their needs in different levels, or satisfying our needs in different levels, is a manifestation of love. If someone has hunger and you give them food, that is a manifestation of love. Yet food is not love itself. But if you believe that food is love, You will only allow yourself to receive love if people give you food. So we need to create this skill and discernment to see love behind the objects. Otherwise, we'll start to become greedy about the objects that we associate with love. If we associate love, let's say, to flowers. Flowers are good and they are beautiful, but I only acknowledge that someone loves me if they bring me flowers. But that person does a lot of other things that are an expression of love, but I don't acknowledge them because I only believe that love comes from flowers. But then that person gives me flowers every day. I feel loved in the first 2 days, but after a few days I think it's enough flowers and I cannot feel love anymore. Or maybe I want 3 flowers is not enough. I want 10, I want 100, I want 1,000. And then no matter how much flowers it brings, I cannot feel love again because there's never enough flowers. This is just a metaphor. It's very important. Love is everywhere, but not everything is love. So we need to find love where love is. If we want that need to be satisfied. Otherwise, we'll become greedy on the objects that we associate with love. And how about your expression as a human being? How about free your creative energy? You have this expression satisfied, this need to express yourself honestly and purely as the unique human being that you are, with complete freedom. Do you have that satisfied? A freedom that you don't even expect anything back. Just the sake of expressing your creative energy in your own uniqueness. Or there is some sort of repression. And if you are not able to satisfy me that way, what do you do? Where are you putting the creation in you? In what kind of activities, objects that don't satisfy your need? And how about the need for realization and wisdom? What are you using to feel the sense of realization? What do you create to satisfy that need? What you become attached to satisfy that need? And how you can truly satisfy that need, in what level? A realization is not attached to clothes, lifestyle, image, status, names. Realization is not dependent of any physical or social manifestation. It can happen in any of the when those things are present, but is not that the cause of realization. Realization belongs to the true self, which everyone has one. And is not because people do some spiritual practice that they are have the exclusiveness for realization and wisdom. A good practice can help in that process, is true. But in order to gain realization and wisdom, we need even to transcend the methods. We need to create conditions that activates our true self and have this awareness of the true self awaken. And that has no forms, has no physical manifestation, has no status or titles or things like that. In fact, through my life, I have seen people that were not doing any sort of spiritual practice with a much higher level of wisdom that some gurus out there, some people that have a big name in the spiritual practice world. That doesn't mean that spiritual practices are not important. They are. But we need to grasp the essence where the true realization and wisdom are. And that is rare. So I see that we are reaching the end of this time, of this session. We're going to explore all of this in this course in different levels. We're going to go very deep and gain true understanding to this process of greediness and how to satisfy the true needs behind greediness, so that we don't need we stop to feel this hunger, this inability to experience contentment and satisfaction for what we have. So I invite you to do it, and we start for you to acknowledge the needs in the most honest and realistic way possible, without judgments, without guilt, without blaming, without feeling bad about your needs. They are what they are. Acknowledge them, what they truly are. Where have you been trying to satisfy them? If getting more is helping you or not. or if there is another way, or if you can, or if you are if you are trying to satisfy the need at the level where that need belongs to. And in what levels greediness is manifesting in your life. Everyone has a sort of greediness. Sometimes it's quite hidden. But when it becomes stronger and stronger, it will create this paradox of transforming something good into something that can destroy you, yourself and the others. Okay. So we're going to conclude this this class. The next class will be with questions and answers, and it will be tomorrow. So we are quite packed in this time for the course, but we'll move like this because it's the only way that I can do it this time. So next class will be for questions. Try to feel about what you feel about this information and about this pattern. You can send me the questions through email, or put them on the chat when we start the class or during the class of Webinar Jam. Okay, so let's close this Chi field and just yourself to a good position. Look straight forward and slowly bring your awareness inward. Close your eyes and relax. 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 Go deep into your heart and connect with trust, openness, love, gratitude, and Gonjing. With the 5 Shin, open the heart to all the Chi field and connect with all the positive, uplifting information. Open your arms to the sides, palms facing forward. Embrace all this positive, uplifting information and bring it back to your heart. And integrate it in your heart with the 5 Shin. Hands to the sides, and when you are ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, so we are coming to a conclusion of this class. This is just an introduction, and although we'll have around 20 hours to work on this pattern, it's important to understand that all the information will not be enough to cover all the pattern. There will be just pointers that I invite you to explore and to apply in your life so that you can gain a true understanding and validate this knowledge if it's useful for you or not. So we start now this journey in the pattern of greediness. Wish you a very good rest of the day and See you soon in the next class. Bye bye. Much love, everyone.